Well, as a photojournalist, I try to maintain a neutral stand. So I'm not for or against, and even if inside you are for or against a particular issue, you should never let that be on display. People might react differently otherwise if they know that perhaps you are against a certain issue. So I never talk about my political views with anyone I'm covering, whether it's an event or a particular person. I don't want my personal views to impact or affect the story that I'm covering. And I think that's what a true photojournalist should be like. Never showing your political views. You want to maintain a neutral standing. To be objective. Always being objective. In high school, I took one photojournalism class. It was mainly a photography class, I should say. But for some reason, I only took a couple of photos and I entered a photography contest. And I ended up winning. So after that, I kind of was a little bit of encouraged, and my professor said, hey, you might have something here. You might want to look into it. And that's when I transferred to go to the University of New Mexico, and that's where I started taking photography. At first it was fine art photography, but soon after that it was all photojournalism. So it's been a great ride. I can't complain.
1, 2, 3. Good, last one. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
All right, now screw around. Do something stupid. Act like you're sauce. Do something stupid. Come on, G.
The most difficult experience, I think, physically and emotionally, was photographing Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. Just because physically it was so demanding.
Rescue 11 responding 5-5.
Emotionally, you had to deal with so much destruction and grief, and it was really hard. But I learned and I grew as a photojournalist. This job can be stressful at times. But it's up to you also to balance your personal life and not just be so overwhelmed by tragedy and crime and just sad news. My favorite stories to cover are human interest stories. Just like telling other people's stories. What drives them, what makes up who they are. For a long time I was doing mainly immigration stories or stories near the US-Mexico border. And I love working there just because there's always an interesting angle to this whole immigration border issue. I love covering that. We are here at the Journal. I'm going to go inside, talk to a photo editor, and take a look at some photos I just took about an hour ago. In photojournalism, you're at the mercy of when the story is taking place, because not everything happens in ideal lighting condition. So what I'm using right now is a program called Photo Mechanic, and it basically shows you everything you've shot. And it's a program to help you pick out the photos that you will later edit, like in Lightroom or Photoshop. I'm going to make a print so that they have it in order to take to the meeting later on this afternoon.
Okay.
Therefore, you get an idea of what's going to be printed in the paper tomorrow. If this was an evening event, and this was a Friday night, by 10:30 or so, I need to have it ready in the hands of the designer. If this is Saturday, it'd be a little bit earlier. Sunday is a little bit earlier too. So I think it's a pretty good selection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to caption these. I'm going to write down some information, and then I'm going to leave them with the photo editor.